Games and strains. Yo, what's going on, my peoples out there? If you tune in right now, you know what you're tuning into. It's your favorite Stone Gamer, your boy Big V, and you tapped into my podcast, Games and Strains. You know what I mean? Happy New Year, everybody. You know, I'm usually up here by myself, but today I got a special guest in the house with me today via Zoom. You know what I'm saying? For my people out there that don't know who you're listening to and who you're looking at, if you recently played this great game on Xbox right now called the Gunk, right now I have my guy who composed the soundtrack for the Gunk, my guy Oscar. I want to mess up your last name. Is it Rydelius?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, man. I got it right. All right, man. Oscar Rydelius also goes as Rat Vader. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's all good. All good.
All right, man. We got the guy. Oh, look, we're gonna call you Rat Vader. I like that. I like that name. Am I correct? That is your artist name, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. Yo, man. First of all, look, let me get some air horns going for you, man. This is big, man. Get some air horns going for my guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, how are you today, man?
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's a bit dark in Sweden, but it's been kind of snow raining all day. But cuddling up with tea can't go wrong.
Absolutely, man. Hey, man. First of all, man, thank you for even, coming on my podcast, my small platform. For me, again, like I told you, we spoke in private. This is a big deal for me right now. You know what I mean? Let me explain to the people how I even came across Oscar, man, Rat Vader. Like, it is insane the power of just the internet and the power of the universe. Listen, I had just finished beating the Gunk. I took a screenshot on my Xbox Series S, uploaded to Twitter, and I uploaded to Instagram, and I was just talking about how much of a great experience it was. Oscar somehow found me, tapped in, commented, and said, "Hey, man, I would love to hear your review on this game." And I said, "Listen, just come on my show. Just come on my show. I want to talk to you and talk about the game." And guess what, man? We are here today, man. First off, man, I always ask my guests when I have them to start off genuinely. How old are you?
So as of right now, I'm 34.
I see. This is why I asked the age, because my next question is always this: what was your first console?
Oh yeah, it was the 8-bit, like a Nintendo 8-bit for sure. So
Right. I could see that was mine because I'm 38, so we're close in age. So for me, the Nintendo was always my first one. I get some people said the Atari. I get a lot of different answers. So I see that you're a Nintendo guy.
yeah.
Well, around what age was that for you?
It was kind of funny actually because my uncle he worked for a Swedish company, but was living in Singapore at the time, I think.
Okay.
So he was actually the one that brought it to Sweden and introduced me to the whole thing. And what was interesting was, like, at that time, the Swedish Nintendo consoles were like regionally blocked, if that is that the correct term. So you couldn't play all games on those consoles, but the one that I got from him was from Singapore, so they didn't have any, like, limitation to them, so I could play both Swedish games and also kind of pirated games from Asia as well. So
Why
yeah.
why why was it a like limitation on what you could play over there
i'm
in Sweden?
i'm
Because
not
for my people that don't know, he's from Gothenburg, Sweden. Am I correct?
Yep, that's it.
Absolutely. Okay, so do you even know why it was like a limitation?
Actually, there was a documentary just recently about the whole situation of Nintendo starting to sell their games in Sweden, which was kind of fascinating because this was this one guy actually close to where I live, or just down a city like 30 minutes from here, that went to Japan and met some random people there and started to import Nintendo to Sweden. So Sweden was apparently, according to this documentary, one of the countries that had like Nintendo games and a lot of games, like way before a lot of other countries and stuff like that. So there, and I guess that makes sense with Sweden being quite a big gaming gaming country with a lot of game like Minecraft, the Swedish creator, and all these kind of games coming out from Sweden and stuff like that. So Battlefield, or you know,
Oh, so hold on. Battlefield comes out of Sweden?
wait, like is it Call of Duty or is it Battlefield? I don't play it. Which one is Dice?
Okay. Oh, I think that's Battlefield.
That's Battlefield. Yeah, okay. So Battlefield, yeah, it's from Sweden as well. So yeah,
I didn't know that, man. I did
yeah,
not know that. That
yeah.
is crazy. Okay. Okay. What was one of the first games you remember beating as a child?
I don't think I beat any of them, man. I just remember not like there's always a point where it's like, no, I don't know how to do it anymore. But also, my uncle actually gave me a Game Boy, so I played a lot of games on the Game Boy as well. But
Mm.
beating, that's tough. I don't know.
You had to have the same Game Boy I had with was the green screen. It was
Yeah,
like, oh my god, that was one of the best times, man.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
One of the best times, man.
And that was also like so funny with my uncle giving us like the Asian version, because they would also have like I would have one game that had like 100 games in one. So
Mm.
it would kind of stick out a little bit on the back, and there would be like 100 games in one game. So and I remember flying home from him when I was really young, and there was this boy next to me, and he had like this big cartridges of like so many games, and
Yeah.
I just had my one game put in, and he was like looking at me like, what's your games? And like he wanted to try mine, and he had all these so many games, but when he tried mine and there were like hundreds of them, he was like, yeah, at that age he was so jealous, and I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
It was mind blowing, probably, man.
Yeah, 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 for sure. Yeah, for me too. So yeah.
You know they sell those small like Nintendos now that come loaded with like 620 games on them now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I actually own one.
Oh, you do? Is it
Yeah,
good?
yeah. I mean, it has games in there I've never heard of, games I've never played that maybe were bigger like in maybe like other countries. They
Mm-hmm.
have like all the different Mario's that never came out, like Mario fucking 4, 5, 6, and all the other ones that in between. Like
Yeah,
it's definitely mind blowing. All the Contras, all that, man.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I definitely enjoy it, man. Definitely.
yeah. I haven't tried the new Switch function where you can play all the older games as well, but I've heard it's good. But yeah, too much to play, too little time.
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. I like I buy so many games now and I barely even get time to even tap into half of them just because I'm a dad, I'm an artist, I'm an entrepreneur. I do so many things that it's just not enough time in the day,
Oh,
man,
yeah.
at
What was
all.
your first game?
The first game I ever beat, man. You know, nobody never asked me that. First game I ever beat. Let me think, man.
You see, it's not easy.
It's not easy because I was much like you where I would get stuck on Mario and be like, I can't do this. Mario 3, I can't do this. I don't know what else to do. And back then you had to actually like almost play all day and leave your console on because it wasn't like save points or memory cards. It was
Yeah.
it was a lot to do. Like, man, I'm gonna have to really think about that, man. It's like I didn't even hardly beat any games in my childhood. Cause like
But
at
that's
one
it.
point, at one point I just played sports games. Like I was big on basketball games, NBA Jam, and stuff like that, man. So man, I don't know.
And was
I'm
that co-op or was it single player? Those
NBA Jam was co-op.
co-op, yeah.
NBA Jam was co-op. Yeah, it was co-op. And
Because I
like,
remember playing a lot of Red Alert and this kind of game when that came
mm,
out, and that was also co-op with my neighbor. So, but that's yeah, you don't finish that. Yeah, I guess you could finish the campaigns, right? But
yeah, yeah, but I don't know if a lot of that was going on. At least not for me. It wasn't going on for me.
no, yeah.
And when I looked you up, I kept running into this specific word, and I could have googled it and asked you. I mean, I could have googled it and known what it was about, but I chose to just wait for the podcast so I can hear your definition of this word. Every time I looked you up, I kept running into this word, and you correct me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Is it lycanthrope?
Lycanthrope?
Yes, like Lycanthrope,
Oh yeah,
lycanthrope or
yeah,
lycanthrope.
yeah, yeah.
Explain to me what that is.
Honestly, it was the label guy, Shelby Sinka, who was on my old label, that he would always use that name. So he had or he has a record label called Swedish Columbia, and when he was like kind of because he knew I liked, the woods and being out in the woods and hang around in the forest. So,
Right.
and he came up with that specific like little tagline or whatever with the
Mm.
lycanthrope. So, I'm honestly, I haven't really asked him exactly since he wrote it. So I guess we will have to figure that out together. Actually,
I'm about to Google it, man, because I
yeah, yeah,
wanted.
yeah.
I thought it was like maybe like a genre of some sort, or maybe just like something that describes what it is that exactly that you do. Because it's a popular word, man. Like it came right up. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to Google it. I wanted to hear your definition first and
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
to you.
yeah.
I'm
Okay,
a,
give it,
let me see.
give it to me.
Here we go. It says a werewolf.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
does
yeah,
that describe you, or you like how does that apply to you? Like how do you think since the guy from the label blessed you with that?
yeah, he blessed me with that. No, I think that's I guess that's more in line with the character Rat Vader, I guess.
Okay, okay, okay.
And then to describe myself, I've been really trying to find a good word for that in terms of, what am I? People ask me like, are you a composer? Are you a sound designer? Are you a artist? Whatever. But something that I've been using some years now is sound sculpture.
Right. I kept running into that with you as well. That
Yeah,
being
yeah,
identified with you, sound
yeah.
sculpture. Yeah.
Yeah, because sound has, in some sense, it's kind of, it gets kind of like, where do you draw the line between sounds and music, I guess. So, and for me, music is sound. So then, sound sculpture is, I make sculptures of sound. So
I like it as a fellow artist. I like that. I like how you describe that. You make sculptures of music, man.
yeah.
I never heard any artist describe what they do as making a sculpture. That is dope. I like that, man. I
That's
really
cool.
do.
Yeah, yeah,
Let's like let's tap into like Rat Vader, the artist or the sound sculpture. Like
yeah.
explain to me how you even got that name.
So the name actually is just a dumb story, man.
Okay.
We were at a festival, me and some friends, and there was a Swedish movie. No one would know of it, but it was a Swedish movie called Ondskan, which would be translated to evil, I guess,
Okay.
about a young boy trying to. I can't remember the plot exactly, but he was like coming to the school and people were harassing him or whatever. So they were basically calling him a rat.
Okay.
And then they, like, my old bandmates, when I didn't behave properly, they would call me the rat. Like, you're the rat. And not like, not like a rat as in, someone that, tells on someone that has committed a crime. I guess that would be the thing in the US, right? Like a
Right.
rat, not like that.
Right.
More like, you don't really know where I am or whatever. And then it was like, so, just stupid, like, no, that's not that cool to just call me Rat, so it need to be cooler. And what's cool? Yeah, Darth Vader is cool, so it have to be Rat Vader.
So are you a Star Wars guy as well?
Sorry, if I
Are you a Star Wars guy as well?
yeah, oh, Star Wars, yeah, I mean, yeah, not a hardcore fan, but I'm a big fan of John Williams, and I've always watched the movies, so yeah, for sure. But yeah, and then that just sticked with me, and especially my friend Nicholas, who I've been working with a lot. He was like, "No, you should really stick to that name, man." So, and I was like, "Yeah, why not? It's funny." So,
I keep hearing you mention like label and band. So are you currently in a band or were you in a band and were y'all like signed to a record label?
yeah, so I've been in some different bands, but the one that I kind of played with the furthest or the longest, we have managers and stuff, and we actually managed to go and play in Japan and China and stuff like that. So, um, Yeah, but
Nice.
other than that, you need help to distribute music these days, even though you can do it yourself. So that's the thing, I guess. Well, how do you do it? Do you have a distributor or?
I use DistroKid to distribute my music,
Yeah.
and I'm independent as well. I'm not signed to any major label or anything. I actually have like my own small label, Skyzone.Society Inc. It's just me where I do everything hands on myself. A lot of self promotion, a lot of sponsored ads, throwing my own events, throwing my own tours. Everything out of pocket is me.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
A lot of work.
A lot of work. I'm pretty sure you understand. It's not easy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's more than just writing the music these days, I guess. So
And keeping it on music has this COVID-19 thing slowed you down artistically in that way?
I think it's speeding me up, man.
Oh, how so? I like hearing that. How so?
No, I feel like you know, I mean, Sweden is quite dark and cold, so people sit inside tend to, uh, consume a lot of popular culture and stuff like that as well. But I mean, it feels like, the conversations you've had with people has been more sincere because people, miss the social aspect, so they take the time, put away the cell phone, whatever. Plus, people are. I feel like a lot of my friends, at least, are you know digging more into different art forms, listening to new music. It's kind of, in one sense, the COVID has really showed how important culture is, I guess, for
Mm,
people because you've been stuck at home. So people have been watching movies, listening to music, documentaries, all this stuff. So, and for me, likewise, try to read some books and listen to more stuff. And also, I guess, just with the digital age, everything is so like easy to get these days. Like, you got the streaming services. You can just, with one click, you can watch old movies, new movies, any movies, music not to speak of, books, you can read them online, all this stuff. So
mm.
yeah, I don't know if you can feel that vibe, but it feels like it's been a lot of like that here for me, at least.
It's been the same way here amongst me and most of my peers. The hugs are tighter when we get to see each other.
Mm,
We're still, wearing our mask and trying to get, be vaccinated, for the people that want to do that. Um, and just really just being careful as possible. I know for me as an artist, um, it slowed musically. It slows some things down when it comes to doing shows for me.
exactly. Yeah, of course, of course.
The venues were shut
Yeah,
down. Some
yeah,
of them are still shut down. A lot of them aren't or just trying to just stay safe.
yeah,
You
yeah, of course.
know, me personally, I haven't even performed since 2020.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I have a performance coming up in March. I'm
Nice.
excited about that. But I'm still skeptical about it, honestly. Just
Like,
because
it
I'm
will
just
happen,
trying.
or
Yeah, I'm just trying not to catch the COVID and pass it to family. It's just so mine. It's just tough.
yeah, yeah,
It's just tough. But creative wise, um, I've been like you, man. I have been on a whole other level creatively. Just finding another level to go to because things have slowed down a bit. So it's not the everyday, hustle and bustle. Is
yeah,
you got time to actually process a lot of things, which
yeah,
as an artist, as you know, is very key in creating.
yeah. No, yeah. I mean, maybe that was my like positive side of COVID, but then of
Yeah.
course the reality of, like you're saying, the shows and all that. But yeah, definitely, I feel that too, for sure. And also, I mean, I love meeting people. I see myself as a social guy, but at the same time, you've had a lot of other, like, you've had time to do different stuff, not meeting people and doing stuff. So of course, your brain always goes to these stuff,
Yes.
think about music and all that stuff. So of course, then more time will be spent on those thoughts, I guess.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
Like, do you have kids?
No kids, no
Okay.
kids.
Okay.
My sister got kids, but due to COVID, I haven't seen them too much either. So
How so you were born and raised in Sweden.
yeah, yeah.
How was that? Like how was that coming up?
Wow. On what? Any specific detail or just in
Um,
general?
just in general, the good, any the bad, just how was it? Like just period, man. Because I've never been anywhere close to Sweden at all. So I just love hearing people's perspectives on how they grew up because a lot of it is similar to more ways than one how I grew up, and that is fascinating to me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so if we should kind of narrow it down to like music wise, or like as in like how that was,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
yeah. I mean, Sweden. It's very. I don't know how much you know about Sweden, but it's like it's quite small. There's not too many people, and the cities are not that big. I mean, Gothenburg, where I live, I don't even know now. Is it like 400,000 or something? Uh, I
okay.
don't even. I think so. And we lived in a suburb outside of Sweden, outside of Gothenburg, and so there was a lot of forest there as well. And like Sweden, I don't know, like not trying to. I don't know everything, but Sweden being like a socialist country, there's a lot of resources for like when I was growing up, my mother was like, you should go try play an instrument, stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
there are we call them kulturskola, which be like a cultural school, whatever that you can go to,
Okay.
and I think it's partially subsidized by the government, so it's not too expensive. So they had like an open day where I could go and just try out different instruments, and I was like trying out the guitar and got hooked on that, and then started going to guitar lessons and stuff like that. And then growing up, there was always, I know, like, do you know Max Martin, the big he's a big songwriter.
I,
uh
I I don't
yeah, I mean, he'd done Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, and everything. So if you're
Okay.
looking, you would know. And I remember him once saying that he thought that partly of the success in Sweden was that there are so many good like places to go, rehearsal spaces, studios, and all that stuff. So it was kind of easy to just go to the local music rehearsal room and get a time to go there with your band and stuff like that. So growing up like that, teenage years, we would hang out there. Me and my buddies, like the four of us, we went there all the time as often as we could, and we would just be in there jamming, doing weird stuff. It was funny.
How many instruments do you play?
Like I say, I don't play any, but I play some, but I don't really think I manage anyone really good. But I play some guitar. I used to play drums in the band, and then I can like sort of make my way with some other stuff. But like I hire people that knows how to play if I have the budget. So
So okay, as a teen, as a teen young man, you get hooked into the instrument world and start learning your way. How to navigate things such as the guitar. How does that lead up to you composing music for such a great game like the Gunk? Like how? Like take me through the process of you even getting that door to open, man.
oh wow, yeah. I mean, I thought about, where it comes from, of course, like instinctively. Like I remember, like right next, like behind my computer is my grandmother and grandfather's old piano, and I mean that's like the first memories I have of music, where I would sit at their apartment and just play on only the black keys, because that would be easier.
Okay.
And I mean, I guess in one way, I wrote my first song there. I don't remember how old I was, but I still remember that song that I wrote. And from there, I guess slowly but steadily, there's always been an interest in exploring that. What is music and what do I like? And then you end up in different situations. Studying a little bit. You would write for something, and then you'd play in the band. You write for that, and then you can't stop, basically, I guess. I don't know how it is for you, but yeah, like if I really try to take breaks, there's always the point where it's like, no, I have to start doing it again, like it comes back
That,
to me.
that's the love you have for it. That's the
Yeah,
love that won't let you quit.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You can recognize it, or
Absolutely, 1,000%. Like when I take breaks from music, because we all have to just take mental breaks so we can come back fresh with
yep,
new experiences and new material and new ways to create. Like the whole time I'm taking a break, like it's something inside of me that just everywhere I go reminds me of music. Like
yep,
I have to stop and write verses down on receipts and paper bags, and just so I won't forget them, and just different. Like it's like when the creativity strikes you, you have to go, man.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah,
you just have to go. Like you have to get it out of you, some form of fashion, whether it be playing an instrument or recording a song or writing a verse or writing a thought down. It's just something. It's the love that drives
yeah, yeah. I was watching the Beatles documentary now,
you.
the Get Back, yeah, and I thought John Lennon had like two quotes where the one of them was, "So when you get an idea, make sure to push through with it, like just do it." I can't remember the exact words. And also, when you start on that idea, make sure to finish it or take it as far as you can with the idea that you have. Like you should never I can't remember exactly. You should never skip on a good idea or like an inspirational idea, kind of like that. So,
Is
yeah.
this the new one that's on Apple TV?
I think it's on Disney Plus,
Okay,
or it's on Disney Plus. Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna have to definitely check that out, man.
yeah. The parts of it was quite good, but I like the idea. Like you say, you're out wandering the world and you get reminded of it all the time. And I thought it was kind of nice that okay, when those time happens, you should just go for it and yeah, you know,
Absolutely.
harvest that creative energy or whatever.
So again, how did you, open the doors to even composing music for the Gunk?
To the gunk. Yeah, so I mean, basically, in terms of composing, like I said, I started early, but then with games, I my sister was studying to become a nurse in Skövde, which is a small town outside of Gothenburg, like 2 hours away, and that's actually where Marcus Notch, who did Minecraft, was studying as well. So at that time, the school was quite new, and I went. I went there, and the school was a school for like computer games, educating people in making computer games. But my sister was studying to become a nurse. I went there, and I met this guy Nicholas and some friends of his at a pre-party. Had some beers, and I was studying sound at the moment, and he was like, "We needed someone to help us do the sound," and I was like, "I'm the one, man," and I got on board, and from there, it's just been continuing doing that. And then Gothenburg, not being a too big of a city, I was actually I knocked on Image and Form at that time. They were called they made the makers of the Gunk. I knocked on their door like many years ago just because I loved what they were doing at that time, and that was before even I don't know if you know the Steamworld Dig series and these other games that they've made. And then yeah, from there get to know some people, and all of a sudden the stars aligned, and I got to get this chance to do the Gunk. So yeah, something
So
like
so how, like, okay, how, like, did they call you up and say, "Hey man, we got this great game, we need these sounds," or "Hey, can you come to the studio and see these visuals and try to match these sounds?" Like how does that happen?
All right. So yeah, I helped them out with two games previously. So they had a small game called Anthill that I made some music for, and
Okay.
there was this guy called Pelle who got me on board to that, and then Pelle also got me on board to do a little bit of music to a game called Steamworld Quests, also a great game that they made. And then he actually brought me on board to the Gunk as well, and it was in a pre-production for like 3 or 4 years. So I saw some of their early visual ideas, and it was very far from where it ended up, and started sketching on that. And then actually, the guy Pelle that was the audio lead on the company, he quit, went somewhere else, so I was left alone. And then the whole game started take shape, or there was of course, what do you call it, like art, you make
Yeah.
art in
Yeah.
advance, like, okay, blank, yeah, art to inspirational art, whatever that is. And I started sketching from there, and then I started like doing the real production in maybe exactly no a little bit more than a year ago. So yeah, I guess that's, yeah, something like that.
Like, what was like? So when you're looking at these visuals, because the for the people that haven't played the Gunk, I'm not gonna give out any spoilers. It's just a great game. You have to go check it out. It's a very very beautiful game.
Yeah,
An original game, in my opinion. Um, is the world of the Gunk like? It's just like, man, it's so vibrant. Like, where, and I tell you, like, the part I love. Like, I love the fact that when you throw, like, I don't even know what it is, like this little ball of something into like this like circular like thing, trees and everything sprout up, leaves, like the environment grows, man, out
yeah,
of nowhere. And
yeah,
that is the part I just love about the Gunk, because right when you think it can't even get any more beautiful, it does. And right when you think like you might be stuck, you're not. You just
yeah.
have to use the. It's really an environment based game. So like when you're looking at these beautiful visuals and it's coming together, like what mindset are you in to compose such a great like soundtrack for it, man? Because when I'm playing the game, every time I go to like a new area or something is about to happen, like this orchestra like comes out of nowhere, dude. I'm like, yo, this is. And the whole time I'm playing it, I'm like, man, the music on this game is fantastic. It is fantastic, dude. Like, hats off to you, man, for that. Like, just tell me, like, how did you do it?
I don't know, man. No, but I mean, I have to give so much credit to Tobias Nilsson. He was like the art director
Mhm.
on the game. So I mean, a lot of the inspiration is like I just drew it from him. Like, so he made a lot of. I remember the name now, concept art. So obviously,
Okay,
so
okay.
so he did a lot of concept art. And in the beginning, I don't know like how much you know of game dev, but in the beginning, it's a lot of gray boxing. Like there aren't really any art at all. The character is just not animated and just walks around and it's all gray boxed and you don't really see anything of what will become so beautiful.
Okay.
So the I guess the hard part or the creative part is to kind of, I usually make movies, so I took Tobias art and I cut him and I took photos of them, and then I took a little bit of what we had at the time, in terms of playable game, and then I just put them together with with everything and made a movie of it, and I would have that running in the background while I'm composing the music.
Uh,
So, but then again, it's also Tobias also with like he had a playlist on Spotify with inspirational music that he liked, and other than that, like I remember the whole the first song I wrote. Uh, I was out at a friend's summer house on the west coast of Sweden, and the west coast is like where the ocean is, and it's a really spectacular, weird environment there. So
okay.
we would also just go around outside, all the day when the light is out, and just get inspiration from that. So bring some instrument that you can play outside. So it's a mixture of having Tobias awesome art and then also just trying to get inspirational from the fantastic world that's around us, I guess. So
And so when you're recording this, um, are you in like an actual studio, or are you at like your home studio? Like, how does that work?
So it's been a bit of a mixture. Like, so the first tones I even did was at this place. I just had, I had, VST piano, and I would just bring a MIDI clev to that place, and I would like score it there. And then I would bring the occasional, I have some melodica, if in the game, and I also have an Indian pump organ, which I brought to that place that I recorded there. And then I recorded my piano at home, but then I have a studio in town where the musicians come there. I have my pump organ there and all the other instruments. So the only exception was that this great cello player, Björn Risberg, who's playing all the cello parts on the whole soundtrack, he lives quite far up in the north, and he was very fortunate to get his first child as the
Mm,
game was progressing.
okay.
So he wasn't able to come down to Gothenburg to do the last recording session, and I really wanted him because I think he's just fantastic. So I actually, loaded up my bags with a lot of microphones and equipment, and luckily I had some friends up in Umeå, so I could be in their rehearsal space. So I took all my stuff, went up there, and rigged it all up there, and then Björn came to the rehearsal place to record it there. So it's really been a recording process that's a bit all over the world, but also a lot, obviously, in the studio. But also, there are some weird stuff in there that you can't really tell by just playing the game, because then the music is at its volume together with the sound effects and the dialogue and all that. But there are also field recordings I've done over the years from different parts. So one sound I used a lot was weird recording from Switzerland. No, was it Switzerland? No, it was Austria. I traveled in Austria and I found this installation where kids played, and the installation was like an instrument. So I guess you could hit on different notes, and it was all tuned to a key. But I couldn't get into the thing, so I had my portable microphone standing outside, just recording all these weird sounds of the kids playing. And then that is actually the foundation of a lot of songs, but it's almost not bearable, like hearable in the middle of the songs, but you can hear it at the tail of the song if you listen to the soundtrack on its own. So that was like also a way of building the texture, the whole thing in the beginning. Like, so I had Tobias art, and then I had these textures, and then I built on top of that, if that makes sense. So
That is mind blowing. Like I've always wondered how music is scored for video games. Like I've always wondered that, man.
I think it's all different, though. I mean, your music, I don't know what your process is, but
Right, right.
everyone has their own. Like, how do you start?
Um,
What's your way about it?
Me, I like getting the production first. Like the beat, but what I just like to live with the beat. Basically, I just like to just have it for a few days on loop until it's just stuck in my head,
Yeah,
and to the point where it's constantly just going around in my head. And then my thoughts are revolved around that beat that's in my head constantly,
yeah.
and my thoughts get to going. And then I'm usually in the studio writing for my songs before I record them. Actually, I'll write for the whole entire album, and I'll record everything within like 2 to 3 days.
Oh, like the
Like,
the, the whole album.
yeah, I normally try to write for the whole album, maybe 2 3 months, maybe, or maybe even longer, depends on how many tracks I'm trying to record for said album.
Yeah,
And then once I write everything, I go in the studio and maybe even just take, if I have it, an entire day where I just record the entire album,
yeah.
just record everything.
And then you've been practicing it before, like
Absolutely, yes, yes. So I won't be wasting time when I get there. I'm already familiar with the flow of the songs, the
Yep.
production, the melody, everything. That's just my process.
Yeah, yeah. I like the idea of doing the beat and really get involved with the thing and thinking about it a lot. Like I also sometimes just export the demos and walk around in nature to just kind of like see how that works. And if that works, then I know it will work later on as well. So uh, yeah.
And I heard you say that you worked on some movies.
Yeah, I mean, like I've done some documentaries,
Okay.
but no bigger things actually. But it was maybe not so much that I had super many offers in doing movies and documentaries, but I always found games a bit more interesting with the non-linear aspect of it. So, I mean, I really liked working with films, and I did a lot of sound processing on films as well. And I used to help out dubbing children movies and stuff like that. But it would be a thing where it's like you always know what will happen at an exact moment and an exact time. But since games are so interactive these days, it's really interesting to get the different feel and vibe of things happening as the player is progressing or playing. So plus, the worlds of games are so much more fun usually than films. you know.
I can, man, I can only, especially like at this level, like maybe not so much if you're doing like Hollywood big things where the
Of
special
course.
effects are
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I would love to see what that is like, but I love the gaming community. I love the gaming world. I love the gaming space. That's why I want to do this podcast just to talk to people who are into gaming as much as I am.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I always want to know this though. Like, if you weren't doing what you do now as a music sculptor,
yeah.
what would you be doing?
I've had that discussion in my head. We're like, what is my, what am I without without music? But I don't think I am anything without my music.
I love
Like,
that. I love that.
I really these past years, I've really just kind of like, this is what I do. This is my life. So it's hard for me to imagine what I would be without it actually. But I mean, I worked as a flight attendant for a year.
Oh, okay. Did you?
That was kind of fun. It was weird, but meeting a lot of people was nice. Meeting a lot of people from all over the world was interesting.
So you compose music now full time?
Yeah, and also sound. So
Okay, yeah, yeah, of
yeah,
course.
but yeah, it's been a lot of. I started 2008, but now it's all games. And actually, tomorrow I'm starting my longest like contract ever. So I will be working on a game until at least March 2023. So
Anything we can speak on, or we got to keep quiet? We got to keep quiet about it. I
no,
respect it. I respect it.
I wish I could tell
Okay,
you more. I
okay.
can't. But there are some stuff out there you can see, and but not that much yet, unfortunately. I'm just, you know how it is. I really hope that we get to show stuff soon. I actually had some stuff out that I pulled off because I weren't allowed to really, have it out there. But
You got
it will, if you like the Gunk, the soundtrack of the Gunk, this will be yeah, I think this will be right down your alley as well. So.
you got to come back on my show whenever this secret game drops, man. And
Yeah, yeah.
we gotta have another sit down because I can only imagine that you're putting together another beautiful masterpiece, another great score for a game. Man, I even went on Spotify today and I downloaded the soundtrack from the Gunk. I didn't even know it was available. I
Oh,
had
you
to
didn't?
download it. Because what I did was yesterday, and I gotta follow you. I found your Twitter. I
Yeah.
found your Twitter. I'm gonna send you a follow when we get off the podcast, definitely.
Nice, nice.
And we can keep up with each other through that way
Yeah,
as well,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
So I found your Twitter and I saw you tweet about the soundtrack for the Gunk. And I
yeah.
was like, oh, it's on streaming services. Oh, I didn't even know. So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
like all morning I have been listening to it, man, just because I like when I'm playing the game, like most games, I'm like, man, I wish I just had this music by itself
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
so I could just hear it for what it is, minus the dialogue.
yeah, yeah.
So like this morning, I was just listening to all the great elements of the music of that game. It just so just beautifully composed. Like the music matches the scenery like so much, man. Like it's perfect, man.
But
Like
what was something different? Like, how did you feel like just listening to it without having the game on? Like, what was?
it was even better. It was even better without even the game on because as an artist, which I'm ultimately a musician as well, I appreciate it more. Like it's almost like you can close your eyes to it and just feel everything that's composed within it, man. I don't even know all the like instruments that you use to even like describe everything that goes within that soundtrack. It's just beautiful to sum it up. Like every time I played the game, I would tell my wife, like, man, the music to this game is so beautiful. Like it just matches the landscape. And she was like, "What are you playing? Like you still playing that game, the Gunk?" Like, yeah, I'm still playing it, man. It took me a couple of days to actually work through it because I had some time to myself and the kids was on Christmas break, so I had some time to sit down and just enjoy it for what it was, man. And
So cool.
it is an honor that I'm even again doing this podcast with you. Like I never even imagined when I was playing the game, I would be sitting down with the composer of it, man. It is
I'm just so happy you brought me on board. It's so fun. It's weird because you work on this stuff for so long and all alone and pandemic times. I was sitting in the studio like to until like 3:30 sometimes, and I was like, "Do I even exist? Does anyone know that this is happening? Is this real life?" Kind of. It was kind of weird. So I'm
and
so
I
just
and I can only imagine it's like that too when you can't talk about certain things and you have to
yeah,
keep them to yourself because you're under contract and everything like that, man. I can only imagine how much of a release it is and a relief when everything finally comes out and you can just say and you can talk and tell people like, hey man, I did this. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah. I mean, hopefully, both with your music in mind, that there's something of that process in there as well. So people will experience that when it's out there. But yeah, yeah, no, it's weird. I did actually one thing where I was like, I had Instagram on. You can have the Instagram live thing.
mm-hmm.
So I would like when I was mixing the album, and it was so late. I was mixing so late. I put it on there. Even I don't know if I was allowed to or not, but I just put it on and I had it rolling. So I had some friends that they would lie in bed, falling asleep listening to the soundtrack, and I was like, yeah, but that was a perfect thing. So yeah, it's crazy.
like how crazy is it like for you to had made that all the way in Sweden and it reached people like me all the way in America?
I goosebumps, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy. And also specifically that you vibe with it so much that we can be so far apart but still on the same like frequencies. That's crazy. Um, but it's that I guess like that's why we also keep on doing it, right? Like doing music and stuff because we think that it will resonate with someone else, but you're always scared that you're the only one, I guess. So
Oh my god, man! Like it's like I relate to it so much because you think, man, like nobody's hearing this or nobody's feeling the same way I'm feeling. But then like you go on tours and you perform and you see people reacting to it a different way and or you shoot a video for what you do or you just actually get to put out an entire body of work where people have access to it and you see them react and once they get their hands on it and it's a positive reaction. They're like, "Oh my god, man! I heard you when you said this," or "Man, I heard your music on such and such. Oh man, it's so great!" Like it's like you said, it's goosebumps, man. It's no
yeah,
other feeling like it.
yeah, it's crazy. It's
How
crazy.
how is the fight for the PS5s and the Xboxes out there in Sweden? Is it crazy how it is in America, man? What's going
Yeah,
on with it?
I mean, like, there's no. Also, I have to just one thing on the topic we just were at because, like, one thing that resonated with me, with as people hearing the stuff you've done was actually this one guy at IGN. I can't remember his name, but he said that he really liked the soundtrack, but he also said that at times he felt like the music helped him get into like a meditative state when playing the games. And I was like, that was like even more of a compliment for me. That was like because I've been, this year starting to meditate as well, and I was like, oh, that was so cool. Yeah, the Xbox PlayStation fight, man. You can't get a hold of a PS5 here though. It's impossible. And then,
Mm,
but then the kids. I mean, I must say, like, so the whole game team I'm started working with now.
mm-hmm.
In our age, we're all PS5 guys or PS guys, like so. But then my brother's children, they're all Xbox. So I don't know. A little idea I have is that a little bit of the younger generation are super into Xbox and a bit of the older are into PS5. But I don't know if you can agree on that. If that is the same.
I,
What about your kids?
I have both. I was
Yeah,
fortunate enough to get my hands on both around like when they first came out. I
yeah,
was fortunate to grab both. I have a Series S and I have a PS5, and I let my kids play on both.
yeah, yeah,
They like both. I love both like equally. Like I love Xbox for what it is, especially with Game Pass, man.
yeah, yeah,
It's great. I mean, honestly, Game Pass is why we're sitting here. That's why I
yeah,
got my hands on playing the Gunk.
yeah, yeah,
PlayStation. That they're really like my first love.
yeah.
Honestly, no, they're my second love. Nintendo, my first love, but new generation console, of course.
Exactly. Yeah,
PlayStation, man. I fell in love with them first, but I grew to have a equal love for both because they're both just phenomenal.
yeah.
Both are
Do you have the
phenomenal.
Nintendo as well now, or like a Switch or?
I don't have a Switch. My youngest brother, he's into the Nintendo world. He had
Right.
he had the Wii U,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
then he has the Nintendo Switch. And it's I play his all the when I go down and see him,
hmm?
and it's phenomenal. Like
Yeah,
I like the Nintendo Switch. So,
yeah. I mean, they're all in so good these days in their own way. It's crazy how
yeah.
it has evolved. Yeah. I'm actually even now on Stadia as well. That's crazy.
Oh,
I
okay,
know a
okay.
lot of people are really hating on that, and I mean, obviously there's a discussion to have about Google, but it's crazy how good it works, dude. It's they had a deal going, and you got the controller and then the Chromecast, and it just fires away, and you don't even see, like, I played Cyberpunk on it, and when my friends was downloading the 58 gigabyte update on his PS5, I was already playing, so that
And
was quite.
that's what I'm loving about what Xbox is doing with
Oh, yeah.
with cloud gaming.
Yeah.
The other day I was at home and I was playing a game on my phone through cloud
Oh, wow.
using my Xbox controller. I was blown away, bro.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
Like
But that's running at your home, like it's running on in your home,
well,
and
it was through the Wi-Fi. It was through
oh,
Wi-Fi,
yeah,
of
yeah,
course.
yeah,
And
yeah. So,
I didn't have the Xbox on. I just
oh,
logged into the Game Pass app on my phone,
oh, wow.
and they had the I clicked on what was it? It might have been, it was the new Aliens game, Aliens Fire Team.
All right, okay, cool.
So they had it on cloud. So I pressed cloud, and it pulled it up on my phone. Man, all I had to do was Bluetooth my controller to my phone,
Yeah, yeah,
and I'm sitting there with my phone propped up, just playing it. Like, oh my
yeah,
god, like
yeah,
this is insane where we at, man.
yeah, yeah. It is, and it feels like it's the tip of the iceberg. It's like
Yes,
it will just go crazy, yeah, from here on
yes.
forward. Yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna try to pick at you a little bit and
yeah.
still get a tad bit about this new game you're working on. Can you say if is it only for one console or is it gonna be for everybody?
Um, so I mean, there's a title right now. It's called Ultros. And we're making it with a lot of really nice friends like Niklas that I've been mentioning, an old friend and colleague of mine, Niklas Sockerblad, and a great guy called Hugo and Morten. So we've been in production for almost 5 years now, but I haven't been on it all the time. And it will be available for everyone,
Okay,
but I'm not sure exactly of the platforms now, and I'm not sure exactly when.
okay,
Um, but so there might be, that it's out on one platform and then it will be out on something else.
okay,
But I mean, if you want to know about that stuff, you can always follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and you will eventually see. And I hope actually we can start talking about it even more because. But yeah, and also Niklas, he puts out some stuff. He's the artist also, so he goes on the name El Huervo. So if you follow his Instagram, you can also find stuff that he puts out there as well. So, but it will be awesome. Of course, we need testers, man.
yes, yes. Yes. I'm here for the testing,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Man, like I told you, man, just I appreciate you coming on my show. I know you said that you may have an access key for the gunk that you might want to
Yeah,
get in the way.
yeah,
When I air this, I'm gonna put in the description of the first 10 people that comment. I pick somebody from that group to issue the key to the gunk for.
yeah,
Just to show just to show some gratitude for the people that listen to my podcast,
yeah.
and also just so people that haven't played it can get a chance to go in and check out what an amazing job you did, man. Like, man, again, if you don't have if you want to hear the Gunk soundtrack by itself, it's available on Spotify, it's available on Apple Music, everywhere, everywhere. Like, go get it. It's on any streaming platform that I can think of. Please go
Yes.
get it, man. I got mine on Spotify. It's beautiful, like you said, very meditative. It's awesome. I can't say like anything greater about it, man.
Thank
It is fantastic.
It's always hard to accept these kind of like gratitude things. It's like, but yeah, I really appreciate it. It's yeah, thanks.
Man, listen, man. You're welcome on my show anytime, Oscar. Um, man, let's definitely keep in touch.
Yes,
Let's definitely keep networking, man. And again, man, just thank you for this opportunity for me to come in your world, you to put me on to a lot of things about how making a score for a game goes. I had no clue. You were my first composer I've ever spoken to in my life, man. And
happy to.
hopefully, this will be the gateway to many more things for me and you. And man, what man? One day we will meet. One day
Yeah,
we will meet. I know we will. I know it. I know it.
we got great theme parks for children here as well, man. So you just grab them and come to Sweden, check out the coast. Awesome. In the summer we'll go swimming and all that stuff. Check out the studio. If you have your stuff ready, you can record the album there as well. So
Oh man, come on, man. Oh man, that would be crazy. Like seriously, that would be crazy, man. And I mean, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I'm putting it out there in the
yeah,
universe. It's gonna
yes,
happen, man. I'm gonna
yes,
make my way to Sweden through this COVID thing, one way or another, man. And
yes, man. I'm so down, so down. But
absolutely,
and
man.
and then maybe I'll get to the US as well. We'll see. That would be nice.
Absolutely. You welcome here. Absolutely, man. Come on out to North Carolina. Winston Salem to be exact, man. And definitely, man. I got you. I got you.
Cool. Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Oscar, man, I know we're about 6 hours apart. I'm gonna let you go. I know it's getting late out your way. Thank you for coming, on my show again and just making time to just speak to my audience, man, and just coming up here and just having a real gaming conversation, man.
Yeah.
And and
Thank
and
you.
and just thank you for the key for my people that's listening for the gunk as well. Thank you in advance for that, man. And I appreciate you, bro.
No worries. No worries. And if there's any more questions, you just pop them to me anywhere, and I'll try to answer them.
Absolutely, man. Thank y'all for listening to my show. This is Games and Strains. We're gonna get up out of here. Oscar, I'm gonna DM you in a minute, man. Until next time, bro. Peace out, man. Be safe.
Yes. Likewise. Take care, everybody.